Okay?
It seems like the hurricane response so far is robust. Did you guys realize that the initial Hawaii wildfire response was not that good? Or is it just easier for people to get help from the White House when the president is not on vacation?
Check this out.
So the premise of your question and the way you posed your question, I disagree, just for the record. So if you were to do your reporting and speak to the governor of Hawaii, the senators of Hawaii, the folks on the ground,
Okay.
they would say that the president reacted in record time when it came to dealing with the wildfires, when it came to dealing and making sure that they got everything that they need on the federal level to deal with what was going on the ground.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Let's not forget there were more than 600 federal employees on the ground already to assist with the wildfires in Maui. So your question is wrong. It's flawed in many, many ways, and I would advise you to go speak to the governor and the local and state officials in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Eric Adams, the New York mayor, is saying about these migrants in New York City, any plan that does not include stopping the flow at the border is a failed plan. So why aren't you guys stopping the flow at the border?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
We are stopping the flow at the border. If anything, what the president has been able to do on his own without the help of Republicans in Congress, something that he had to do on his own again because Republicans refuse to give the funding necessary to deal with a situation, a broken immigration system that has been broken for decades.
Okay.
What they choose to do is play politics, but the president has put a plan that is indeed, the data showing is that it is indeed slowing down the flow of unlawful migration.
5 minutes later.
And one more unrelated. Earlier this week, the former president met with Lord Cameron, the British Foreign Secretary. He has in recent weeks met with Viktor Orban, leader of Hungary. He has said he's spoken to Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. There is a long history of Republican presidential candidates meddling in foreign policy to undermine their Democratic opponents without getting into hat check territory, telling people vote for or against someone. Is the administration concerned that this private citizen could be working against U.S. interests in the interests of his own political ones?
Just answer the question, okay? Please don't play with me right now.
And you're talking about his meeting specifically with
foreign leaders. Lord Cameron is talking with MBS, Viktor Orban, and others possibly.
So look, as it relates to other leaders and those types of meetings, specifically, let's talk about David Cameron. The UK noted earlier this week it is common for officials from other countries to meet with representatives of different parties. That includes the United States, as we routinely meet with political leaders of different parties as well.
What?
For instance, we hosted Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid yesterday at the beginning of the week. And so it's not uncommon. I'm going to be really careful here because you're talking about a presidential candidate. I'm going to be really mindful. I used David Cameron as an example, but I'm going to be really mindful of not speaking beyond that.
Shut up, bro.
Governor Moore is apparently on the Hill today. He was there earlier this week meeting with lawmakers. Has he been down at the White House to meet with officials to talk about funding for the bridge? And can you give us an update on the president's conversations with lawmakers to get that funding moving forward?
Good question.
So we have said to Congress that we want to continue to work with them to make sure that the Key Bridge is back up and that the Baltimore gets what it needs, certainly to be whole again. And obviously we're getting that port open.
What is that supposed to mean?
We've been in regular touch with Governor Moore. You know, the president was with him very recently, and they have had continuous conversations about what Baltimore needs. The president said when he was in Baltimore, we will be with Baltimore and the state of Maryland for as long as they need.
Stop the cap.
To get this done. I don't have a specific readout to share with you, but we've been in regular communication. Our Office of Legislative Affairs has been in regular communication with members of Congress. Our intergovernmental affairs folks, Tom Perez, has been leading on this issue as it relates to Baltimore and the needs there.
What the hell are you talking about?
And also, let's not forget our Department of Labor has been very involved as well, making sure, dealing with the economic situation and how we can help on that front as well. So don't have anything to read out as far as conversations, but we've been there for them.
Lies, lies, and more lies.
Is there any better sense now that we're, another week past this and the president's conversation last week and the briefing he got there, on an estimate of how much this is going to cost?
So I don't have an estimate for you. We're going to talk to the Maryland delegation.
Why?
Have those conversations. Don't have an estimate for you to share. Department of Transportation announced $60 million, really right after, the week after the bridge collapsed, and so we know that's there to help. Don't have a final estimation. Obviously, we're going to continue to talk to the delegation.
How weird was that?
Okay, John.
Thanks, Karine. Back in late December, President Biden, in response to a question that I asked him, said that he could not think of one reason for presidents to receive total immunity from prosecution.
What?
4 months later, does the president continue to have that same belief?
I don't have anything beyond what the president shared with you.
Oh, you better be joking.
And in 2 weeks' time, a Supreme Court case will happen. It's Donald J. Trump versus the United States. Earlier this week, there was an amicus brief that was filed by more than a dozen retired generals and admirals opposing this legal theory that Donald Trump and his lawyers have.
Wow.
That he does have total immunity from criminal prosecution. Does the White House, the administration, plan to file an amicus brief of their own on this particular issue?
I would refer you to Department of Justice.
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
Is there any effort to have the former presidents that you know of to file an amicus brief taking one side or another on this particular issue?
Say that one more time.
What a stupid idiot.
Is there any effort that you are aware of the former presidents, the predecessors of President Biden, President George W. Bush, President Bill Clinton, President Barack Obama, Jimmy Carter, to file a joint amicus brief, either taking a position one way or another on this particular matter?
Check this out.
No.
Shut up, bro, shut up, bro.